Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to KCA. My name is David Ngunza and I will be your instructor in today's video. So today we'll be covering DHCP, DHCP relay, and DNS. So we just go over DHCP, a little bit of DNS in this lab. All right, so let's move on to the topology. So this is the topology that we will be using in today's lab. So we have two routers. We have one router called Dallas, another router called Houston, and both routers will be connected over the WAN connection on serial interface. So we have a serial 00 on the Dallas side with an IP address of 111/30, and then on the Houston side, on serial 000, we have an IP address of 1.1.1.2/30 as well. So the both serial, the both connection of the routers in Dallas and Houston will be sharing the network 1110/30. So now each router, like Dallas, will have its own LAN, local area network, which is a 10.10.10.10.0 network /24, 254 usable IPs, and then we'll use the last usable IP address, LUA, last usable IP address, on its interface Gigabit Ethernet 0 or G00. And in Houston, we also have a LAN that is 40.40.40.0/24, which will be used. We'll be using the last usable address from that network to assign it to the G00, which will be the default gateway for the PCs. Now, in Houston, also, we have two web servers that I've called kca.com, hosting a domain for kca.com. And then we have fakebook.com, not Facebook, but fakebook.com. And then we have two PCs in Houston, PCC and PCD. So now let's look at some objective for this lab. So we have devices, Dallas router with LAN G00, 10.10.10.10.0/24, and WAN to Houston router on 1111/30, and Houston router, on the other hand, we'll have a LAN of 40.40.40.0/24, and then a WAN connection between Houston and router on 1.1.1.2 on the Houston side /30. Okay. So now let's see what we're going to do. So from Dallas, we will configure DHCP for both Dallas LAN and Houston LAN, and we have to apply DHCP relay on the Houston router for the Houston LAN, okay? And then all PCs in Dallas and Houston should get an IP address, their IP address dynamically from the Dallas router. We have to exclude the first 24 or 29 IPs from the both pools. So basically the Dallas pool and the Houston pool, we need to exclude 29 IPs. And then the last usable address must be also excluded because we use it for the LAN interface to be used statically. All right, and then we have to set the DNS server IP to 40.40.40.20. All right, so connectivity test. After configuring everything properly, we have to make sure that all PCs should access the website kca.com and fakebook.com, and all PCs in the network should be able to ping each other. All right, so let's move on to the lab and start the configuration. Okay, so we are here in Dallas in the Packet Tracer, the tool we're using for the lab, virtual labs. So in Packet Tracer, we have set up our Dallas router and the Houston router. So far, these routers are just empty stuff. No configuration has been done yet. The only thing I have pre-configured is the server, the web servers, so kca.com and fakebook.com. And then also the web server, the DNS server, will be on 40.40.40.20. Okay, now let's start by configuring, interfaces, assign the IP address. Just keep in mind, we'll be using the last usable on the LAN interfaces, on the G00 of each router. So let's start with Dallas router. Configuration. Let's avoid getting to the initial configuration dialog. Enable. Let's go to the global configuration terminal. All right, so let's set the host name to Dallas. Host name, Dallas. We can say Dallas router. Okay, as you can see, the host name has been updated from router to Dallas router. And then we have our interface G00 in Dallas. Interface G00, let's turn it on, no shutdown. IP address 10.10.10.254, 255.255.255.0. Okay, interface has been up, and we need to configure interface serial 00, no shutdown, IP address 1.1.1.1, 255.255.255.252 for /30, and we can give it a brief description. We can say Dallas to Houston. Okay, no shuts. Remember, we have to do a no shutdown on both ends so that he gets on. Now, I think we're pretty much done with Dallas. Let's also set up a static route going to Houston LAN. IP routes. Houston LAN is on 40, 40.0, 255.255.255.0, and let's use the next hop interface, which is our Houston sides IP here. That 2. Enter. Now we need to do the same on the Houston hands. So let's go to Houston, no, enable, config T. Let's set the name, host name, Houston router. Okay, interface G00, IP add 40.40.40.254.255.255.255.0, no shutdown. Interface serial 00, IP address 1.1.1.2, 255.255.255.252, no shutdown. Now, as we can see, the LAN is fully green, connected. Now, from Houston, we also need to set a route, static route, back to Dallas. We can also give a description to this LAN. We say Houston to Dallas. Okay. IP routes. Dallas network is the 10. 255.255.255.0. Exit interface 1.1.1. We can use the next hop IP address. Okay. So now we have set up routing. Show IP routes. Now we have a static route pointing to the Dallas network via 11111, which is the next hop IP address. And from Houston side, we should have also the same information. Show IP routes. Okay, we have a static route pointing to 40, 40, 40, 40. That's it. So now we have established the connectivity, basically the routing, right? Routing is there between the two. Now let's try, now let's move on and configure DHCP. All right. So like we said, from Dallas router, we will need to configure DHCP for both Dallas LAN and Houston LAN. So we do IP DHCP pool. Let's call this pool Dallas LAN, and the network for Dallas LAN is 10.10.10.0, 255.255.255.0. Default router 10.10.10.254, and our DNS server is 40.40.40.20. All right. Now let's exit one more time and let's exclude the first 30 or 29 IP address. IP DHCP excluded address 10.10.10.1, 10.10.10.29. We should also exclude the default gateway. IP DHCP excluded address 10.10.10.254. All right, so that's it for the last LAN. Now let's create a pool for the Houston LAN. DHCP pool Houston LAN. Their network is 40.40.40.0.255.255.255.0. Default router 40.40.40.254, and DNS server 40.40.40.20. Let's exclude some IPs. IP DHCP 40.40.40.1, 40.40.40.19, 29. And then let's exclude the default gateway. IP DHCP excluded address 40.40.40.254. All right, I think we should be good from here. Now let's go to Dallas and verify if we can get our IP address dynamically. All right, let's do it. So we first have to go to what's it called? To our command prompts. We need to run the command IP DHCP release, okay? IP DHCP ipconfig /renew. Now it's requesting an IP address, as we can see, since we have excluded from 1 to 29. So the first usable IP in the Dallas PC will be 30.30.30.10.10.10.30, and then the DNS server IP was 40.40.40.20, and our default gateway is what we set to 10.10.10.10.254. Okay, let's try pinging the default gateway and see if it's reachable. 254. Reachable. Okay, so that is a good sign. Okay, now I think we're done with Dallas, pretty much done with Dallas. So let's go to the second PCB in Dallas, and try to do a DHCP release renew. ipconfig /release, and then renew. This one should get a 31, okay? So 10.10.10.31, 255.255.0, 10.10.10.10.254, 10.40.40.40.40.20, which is the DNS server. Now so we're done pretty much with configuring DHCP for Dallas. But however, the router in Dallas has also configured DHCP for Houston. So in Houston, we need to apply what we call the IP helper to get the DHCP relay working, okay? So when you look at Houston has an interface of G00 where we have the network at 4040. So we need to go under the interface modes, the LAN interface, where the DHCP will be servicing the IPs, and apply the IP helper right there. So when you go to Dallas, do show IP interface brief. So we have two IPs. We have 10.10.10.10.254, which represent Dallas router, and also 1.1.1.1.1. So now, since in Houston we have route going to both of those networks, we have to pick one. We have already a route going to 10, so let's use that one. Let's start by pinging that IP 10.10.10.254. So as long as we can ping this IP, we can use it as DHCP relay IP helper. Okay. So config T interface G00. This is the command for DHCP relay. IP helper address 10.10.10.254. Enter. By doing so, now we have enabled the Houston router on the LAN connected to G00 to be able to access the DHCP from Dallas. So we go to this PC in Houston, PCC, command prompts. We'll do ipconfig release, ipconfig renew. Let's see if we should be able to get an IP. There we go. We got 40.40.40.30, and then 40, 40, 40, 254, which is the default gateway, and then the DNS is also right there. Subnet mask is properly configured as well. Now we go to the, what's it called, the second PC and do the same, okay? All right. Command prompts, ipconfig /release, and then ipconfig /renew. All right, let's wait. Okay, we got it 31st, 31. So 40.40.40.40.31 is the second IP usable because we have excluded 40.40.40.40.1 all the way to 40.40.40.29, which gives us the first usable IP to be served from the DSP perspective will be 30 and the second one 31. So we're in a good track. All right. So now let's perform our test, right? So our test, we said all PCs should be able to access kca.com and they should be able to ping each other. All right, let's start with the ping. So now we know that in Houston we need to ping 40.40.40.30. See if we'll be able to reach that. Okay, so we are able to reach Houston from Dallas PC. So our configuration was successful, right? And let's try to ping the second PC, which was 31. All right, so first packet might get timeout, and then the bottom three will be successful. And on subsequent ping, everything should be working. Good. So now let's try if we can access the web browser from our PC in Dallas. So this is PCA. We go to web browser. It's a little simulation mode of the browser in Packet Tracer. So it takes a little bit of time to load. That's okay. Let's wait. Okay, it's still loading. Once it loads up, then we can try to do the access the browsers. Okay, let's keep waiting for the program to respond. All right, so while it's loading, I can just tell you guys, so in this lab, we've been configuring DHCP, DHCP relay, and then also we've touched base on static routes, all right? So it has completed the loading parts. So let's try that. kca.com. And we are in Dallas PC trying to access the DNS server that is configured in Houston. Enter. Let's see what happened. I'm still thinking about it. Okay, let's wait. There we go. So now we can reach our website, Kuaha Cloud Academy, KCA. Very beautiful website. It's a simulation website that we created in this Packet Tracer lab to illustrate DNS, right? And then we can do fakebook.com. All right, there we go. We can reach both websites, which means our topology and configuration were successful, right? So everything has been configured properly, guys. So this is for all the KCA student guys to watch. We've learned this in class, and I made this video just to, as a documentation source for you guys. So for all viewers on the internet interested in learning the Cisco program, I encourage you to reach out to KCA staff, and then we should be able to guide you through the process of registration. We have the next session starting in April, and the exact date will be communicated soon, guys. Okay, thank you for watching, and keep working hard, guys. All the KCA students, keep working hard and deliver great results. I hope you guys like this video, and keep watching and subscribe to the page for more videos. Thank you.